Hello dear friends. Today we'll see two important sutras of UPSC for the beginners. When every single beginner, when he decides to jump in a UPSC or decides to be as an UPSC aspirant, he directly start doing things. We directly decides to do things. Today I have decided to start an UPSC preparation to become an IAS. So I'll directly start doing things. I'll directly grab the books. I'll directly go to the classes. I'll start studying the books. But I'll miss the very beginning part of this doing is thinking. Do we think that what we doing is why we doing? Thinking is as important as what we do, because your doing only yields the result if you know or if you have thought before that why you are doing what you doing. Okay, this is an hypothetical example. Let's take a practical example. In UPSC, doing means studying. We study. In UPSC preparation, we have to study. We have to do the studies. But the more important aspect of this doing is understanding. Suppose you have done thinking, you have thoughtfully decided that you want to do the UPSC. That means you have to study the UPSC now. But between the thinking and doing, a very thin line exists, is understanding. You need to understand what you read or what you study. Understanding is the first milestone of UPSC. You need to understand what you do all the time in UPSC. Either you are studying, either you're reading a newspaper, either you're reading a NCRT, either you're going to the classes, you're meeting to the people, you're talking to the people. You need to understand. The first step to reach in a UPSC is to reach on a level of understanding. To take more practically, the first step of UPSC is to cross prelims. Prelims is all about objective questions. And to achieve the objective questions, you need to understand what you have studied or what you are reading. Answering the objective questions needs the total understanding of the whole study syllabus. The percent of understanding you have for your studies, the percent of your success in objective questions is decided. So ultimately the cause comes on understanding is the first level every beginner have to reach on. Alright, so let's consider you have achieved the first level of UPSC beginning is understanding. Let's take what comes second. Considered you have understood what you are reading or what you are doing. You have reached on a level of understanding in a very first beginning stage. Whatever you are studying, NCRT books, you are understanding. Next steps comes after understanding is implementing. Implementing, understanding and implementing. Prelims is all about understanding what you read, and practically if you take mains is all about implementing what you have understood by your studying or by your reading. Implementing is exactly known in UPSC as expressing. There is a very thin line between understanding and implementing is expressing. Expressing what? Expressing what means expressing what you have understood by your studying. Practically talk about expressing belongs to writing. as understanding belongs to reading. You need to understand what you read. So exactly like that, you need to express what you understood. That means you need to write what you have understood. As being an UPSC aspirant and successful UPSC aspirant, you should be able to express what you have understood. Suppose you know about Pune, you know about everything about Pune. So knowing about Pune, understanding about Pune is not only enough. You should be able to write the same way you feel about the Pune or you understand about the Pune. This is the second milestone you need to achieve. First, you need to be eligible to understand what you are studying about or what you're doing. And secondly, you need to be reach on a level of expressing. Understanding and expressing are the two major milestones and every beginner has to be achieved. Let's conclude. Understanding and expressing concludes what is your results are going to be. You see, the percent of efforts you give in first milestone and second milestone, the percent of result you get, the percent of efforts you'll apply to achieve the first milestone and the percent of efforts you'll apply to achieve the second milestone, the percent of results you will have. Practically talk about how much efforts you'll give for the prelims to understand and how much efforts you'll give for the mains to write. Accordingly, you'll get the results in your hand. So collectively, being a successful UPSC aspirant, you need to study, you need to understand what you are studying, and you should be able to express yourself what you are reading. Ultimately, you'll get the result of how much percent you have given to your studying, understanding, and expressing. Thank you.